Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this first ever virtual Justice Social. While this looks and feels a little bit different from what we're used to every year, we are so grateful to have so many supporters from around Chicago and beyond tuning in tonight. I'm Adam Salzman, and I'm the Executive Director of the Greater Chicago Legal Clinic. Thank you for joining us tonight. Every year, our organization gathers with friends and longtime supporters to acknowledge the extraordinary work of our attorneys, paralegals, and administrative staff, who do so much to provide quality legal services to those who would not otherwise be able to afford them. Access to justice for all of us, regardless of race, income, gender, or socioeconomic status, is not just an important issue. It is the defining issue of our time. And organizations like the Greater Chicago Legal Clinic are responsible for helping to make the dream of justice a reality for all of us. And we're able to do this work because of the generous support of our board of directors, the donations and support provided by like-minded community members, our funders, and government leaders, like the person I now have the honor of introducing, the Honorable Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois.
Good evening. I'm Governor J.B. Pritzker, and I'm delighted to welcome you all to tonight's event in support of the Greater Chicago Legal Clinic. For almost 40 years, the clinic has been a partner with the state of Illinois on critically important issues, including immigration, domestic violence, housing security, disability rights, criminal records relief, and environmental justice, to name just a few. The clinic's work narrows service gaps, helping underserved and underrepresented people in Greater Chicago gain access to justice. That work is more important than ever as the city of Chicago, the state of Illinois, and the whole nation, indeed the whole world, faces down unprecedented challenges. The social and economic pressures of the COVID-19 pandemic touch everyone, but put the highest burden on the most vulnerable among us. Lacking meaningful action at the federal level, our cities and states must work that much harder to reach our friends, our neighbors, and our communities, doing more with less. Now more than ever, the clinic needs your help so that it can continue providing affordable legal services to those who need it most. Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for your support of the Greater Chicago Legal Clinic.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you for your leadership during this very challenging time. Our organization began in 1981 as the South Chicago Legal Clinic, a storefront law office in the South Chicago neighborhood that was heavily impacted by the closure of area steel mills. From that small operation, the clinic grew to serve hundreds of thousands of disadvantaged and marginalized clients throughout Chicagoland, in our courts, and in our communities. In 39 years of operating, the clinic has been blessed with outstanding staff, dedicated partners and funders, and a superb board of directors. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge two longtime board members who concluded their service to the clinic this fall, Paul Benatursky and Kathy Posner. Most recently, Sharon Wang, the president of our board of directors, led the clinic through a strategic planning process. We updated and refined our mission, revisited our organization's brand and focus, and emerged with a new name, the Greater Chicago Legal Clinic, as well as a new organizational structure, rooted in the same values on which the clinic was founded all those years ago. We remain committed community justice advocates. Our scope has widened, serving not just the city of Chicago, but all of Cook County. And we are grateful not just for your support, but the support of partners in local and state government with whom we have been fortunate to collaborate in making our courts and our justice system more accessible to all. I now have the privilege of introducing one of those partners, the Honorable Tony Preckwinkle, President of the Cook County Board of Commissioners.
From its beginnings in 1981 as a small storefront office in a South Chicago neighborhood, Greater Chicago Legal Clinic has grown to help people across Cook County. A community-based legal services organization for people who grapple with financial instability, the clinic provides legal representation and advice on housing security, family law, immigration, criminal records relief, among other issues. The clinic's team of dedicated attorneys works not only to help individual clients, but also to close the justice gap in Cook County. They are truly community justice advocates, partners in our shared mission to provide access to justice for all communities throughout our county. Because of the ongoing economic disruptions and the political uncertainty, this work has never been more important. I offer my thanks to Greater Chicago Legal Clinic and to everyone whose support makes their work possible.
My heartfelt thanks to President Preckwinkle for joining us tonight and for her exemplary leadership on issues we all care about. Over the years, the clinic has established several important partnerships with county government. Through these collaborations, we've had the opportunity to work together to increase social justice in Cook County. I look forward to continuing these partnerships in the years to come. Every year at this event, we honor the people and organizations that make it possible for Greater Chicago Legal Clinic to fulfill its mission, helping underserved families and individuals in the Chicago area navigate the justice system. This has never felt more important. 2020 has presented every one of us with new challenges and sometimes radical changes. There's never been a more important time to be grateful and to express our gratitude to everyone who has helped the clinic thrive in these turbulent times. Thank you for joining us for A Justice Social 2020.
Thank you, Sharon, and thank you, everyone, once again for joining us tonight. Everything changed in March. The COVID-19 pandemic and its resulting stay-at-home orders, court closures, economic disruptions meant legal systems and processes had to be rethought. Clinic attorneys working remotely have continued to assist the most vulnerable litigants in Cook County through the court closures and scheduling challenges, and they've continued providing advice and referrals on legal matters, as well as basic access to the courts. Tonight, we will talk about how clinic attorneys developed creative solutions, technological innovations, and new collaborations to meet these challenges in order to serve their clients and keep access to justice from being yet another casualty of the pandemic. Now, I'm pleased to bring back Sharon Wayne to begin tonight's awards presentations.
In 2003, the clinic launched its program for self-represented litigants in Cook County foreclosure cases. Relied upon by judges and people facing foreclosure without the benefit of a private lawyer, this critically important program has been absolutely essential in balancing the scales of justice for financially challenged individuals who are forced to litigate without assistance against powerful banks and lenders. One jurist who understood the need to preserve and expand access to justice for self-represented litigants in foreclosure matters was Justice Laura Liu, who exemplified the clinic's commitment to housing security before losing her battle with breast cancer in 2016. To honor her memory and her life's work, we renamed the clinic's foreclosure advice desk in the Richard J. Daley Center in her memory. It will now be known as the Justice Laura Liu Homeowners Advice Desk. Next, I'm pleased to introduce you to Judge Edmund Chang from the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Illinois, who will tell you about Justice Liu's story.
Greetings to you all. It is a pleasure to be with you, even if virtually, to celebrate the Chicago Legal Clinic's contributions to the community. It is my privilege to introduce one of the recipients of the Be a Light for Justice Award, Justice Laura Liu. This is a posthumous award, so it is tinged with a note of loss and absence. But it is impossible to think of Justice Liu for more than just a few moments before bringing forth warm and joyous memories of her. She trailblazed the path to lead Chicago's legal community. Her career is all the more amazing when you think about her starting point. Justice Liu was the daughter of Chinese immigrants and grew up in a small town in Ohio. English was her second language, and yet she graduated as valedictorian of her high school. She went on to earn a law degree and practiced civil litigation at the highest levels, which resulted in the Illinois Supreme Court appointing her to an opening on the Circuit Court of Cook County in 2010. There, Justice Liu presided over a mountain of mortgage foreclosure cases arising from the 2008 economic crisis. She earned widespread admiration for her careful attention to the law and to the rights and the needs of homeowners, most of whom did not have a lawyer to guide them through one of the worst experiences of their lives. The citizens of Cook County then elected Justice Liu to judicial office in 2012. Not surprisingly, given her excellent record of service, the Illinois Supreme Court, 2 years later, appointed her to a vacancy on the Illinois Appellate Court. She was the first Asian American to serve on that important court. Although she wrote many significant opinions on the appeals court, Justice Liu is best remembered for exactly the same mission that the Chicago Legal Clinic pursues: access to justice. For example, she preached and practiced the patience and compassion for the very same group of homeowners that the Chicago Legal Clinic's foreclosure advice desk served. On top of that, Justice Liu co-chaired the Language Access Committee of the Illinois Supreme Court's Access to Justice Commission. Her service was born of her homegrown empathy for those who faced a language barrier in accessing the courts, and that motivated her to successfully push for more and more qualified interpreters, as well as language access signs throughout state courthouses. No one is more deserving of recognition as a light for justice. Congratulations to Justice Liu. And again, thank you for allowing me to take part in this joyous occasion.
Thank you, Judge Chang, for your remarks and for your brilliant idea to rename the foreclosure advice desk in Justice Liu's honor. I'm pleased to introduce Michael Casper, who will accept the Be a Light for Justice Award on behalf of Justice Laura Liu.
Thank you, Judge Chang, for those kind and thoughtful remarks. Thank you to everyone at the Greater Chicago Legal Clinic for the privilege of accepting this award on Laura's behalf. Thank you to Sharon Wong and the Asian American Bar Association, to Tony Hsu, and especially to Judge Chang for all that each of you do to keep Laura's memory and legacy alive. As Judge Chang indicated, both of Laura's parents were Chinese immigrants who arrived in the United States in their early 20s as exchange students. At the ripe old age of 5, Laura was put on a plane by herself to go live with their grandfather in Taiwan. When she returned 2 years later, she started the second grade without knowing a single word of English. Growing up in the only Asian family in her small Northeast Ohio town, she always remembered the discrimination, mockery, and snickering that her parents experienced simply because English was not their first language. When she became a judge in the Chancery Division's foreclosure unit, she encountered many people facing the terrible threat of losing their home and the greater pressure of facing that threat in a language that they did not quite understand. So she not so quietly set out to do something about that by tirelessly pushing for more multi-language signs in courthouses and access to interpreters so that everyone could fully understand the proceedings and leave with the confidence that, no matter what the outcome, they had gotten a fair shake, which for Laura was what our legal system was all about. It means so very much to me and to our family that Laura's tireless work lives on in the Greater Chicago Legal Clinic and in the help desk that now bears her name. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. It's truly our privilege to honor Justice Liu in this way. We do have one more member of the community who wants to share some thoughts. Tony Hsu, president of the Chicago Chinatown Chamber of Commerce and board member of the Chinese American Bar Association, of which Justice Liu was president early on in her career, would like to offer some final words about Justice Liu.
Good evening. I want to acknowledge Judge Chang for his remarks on Justice Liu's contributions as a jurist, and Michael Casper for accepting the award on Laura's behalf. In particular, I want to thank Greater Chicago Legal Clinic and Sharon Huang in recognizing and acknowledging Justice Liu's contributions by renaming the clinic's foreclosure advice desk in her honor. Many of you know Justice Liu for her fearless advocacy as a lawyer for her clients, her fair and thoughtful deliberation of difficult decisions as a judge. I know Laura as a loyal and kind friend who was proud of her Chinese American heritage. After Laura became the first Chinese American woman circuit judge in Cook County in 2010, she wanted to share her career story with immigrant children in Chicago's Chinatown. She wanted them to see someone like themselves could become lawyers and judges and encourage them to achieve higher career goals. She visited elementary schools and spoke to students about working hard and getting good grades and persevere. During these visits, I witnessed the hope and admiration on these youngsters' faces while listening to Laura. It was an image I will never forget. In 2012, Judge Liu co-chaired the Illinois Supreme Court's Access to Justice Commission. As a judge in the Chancery Division, while hearing mortgage foreclosure cases, she recognized many non-English speaking immigrant litigants face language barriers. Laura worked to establish rules requiring courts to provide qualified interpreters for parties and witnesses, and the installation of signage in different languages outside courthouses. Her efforts resulted in better access to the justice system by individuals in various immigrant communities and provided them improved housing security. On April 15, 2017, the Chinatown community honored Justice Laura Liu with the installation of a memorial garden in Pingtom Park. I am pleased to welcome the next speaker, Illinois Senate President Don Harmon.
For nearly 2 decades, the Greater Chicago Legal Clinic has been helping the people of Chicago and the Chicago suburbs with housing security issues, from foreclosure to eviction and everything in between. Since the clinic's housing program began, staff attorneys and paralegals have helped approximately 68,000 people assert their rights and, in many cases, save their homes. Most recently, in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, the clinic has assisted the Illinois Housing Development Authority with an emergency funding program to maintain secure housing for people who, through no fault of their own, are facing unemployment and resulting difficulty with their rent and mortgage payments. These are uncertain times, and far too many of our neighbors face crippling economic and housing instability. In the absence of leadership in Washington, strong local and state partnerships with community and nonprofit organizations are absolutely essential to our recovery. That's where organizations like the Greater Chicago Legal Clinic come in. I'm grateful to the clinic for its commitment to our most vulnerable residents, and I'm proud to salute its ongoing work. Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for your support of the Greater Chicago Legal Clinic.
Since 2003, Greater Chicago Legal Clinic attorneys have helped approximately 68,000 people assert their rights in eviction and foreclosure matters, helping them keep a roof over their heads. Recently, the clinic assisted the Illinois Housing Development Authority with an emergency funding program designed to maintain secure housing for people suffering economic disruptions because of COVID-19. These disruptions are not over. They are ongoing. There are still many people in Cook County whose housing security is threatened. That is why I ask you tonight to make a gift in support of our work to help people save their homes. Your contribution will help ensure that the clinic can continue this vital assistance at a time when it is most urgently needed, as we face a looming foreclosures and evictions crisis. Thank you for your support, and at any point tonight, if you feel inspired by the work of the clinic, you can donate by clicking the button on this page.
Each year, the Ambassador for Justice Award is presented to a GCLC staff member who has shown extraordinary achievement in the area of community outreach. In 2020, it is my distinct honor to present the Ambassador for Justice Award to Marta C. Bucata. Marta C. Bucata joined the Greater Chicago Legal Clinic as a staff attorney in 1986. She is one of the most respected practitioners of family law and child advocacy in the Chicago area. She has distinguished herself, not just through her practice, but as a mentor to countless young attorneys. Marta's achievements in her practice area and the widespread respect she has engendered as an advocate and a mentor have earned her the respect of the judiciary. She founded the clinic's domestic violence program and continues to practice DV law holistically, taking not just legal considerations into account, but also the social and mental well-being of those impacted by domestic violence. Marta's approach to domestic violence work is both compassionate and effective. Marta has also distinguished herself as an advocate for children. She has served as a child representative in the Domestic Relations Division of the Circuit Court of Cook County, and in 2017, she was appointed to a select panel of lawyers enlisted by the Circuit Court of Cook County to serve as a guardian ad litem in adoption cases. From 1989 to 2019, Marta served as the deputy director of the clinic. She's a leader and an ambassador for the organization in both the legal community and the communities that the clinic serves. In 2012, Marta was honored by the Chicago Bar Foundation with the Thomas H. Morse Award. And while these honors are all reflective of the fact that Marta is an outstanding and accomplished professional, these honors do not tell the whole tale. In the time that I have worked with Marta, I have come to the conclusion that Marta is, at heart, a teacher. For those of us who have had the good fortune to be her colleague, Marta provides a standard of professionalism and commitment for all of us to aspire to and emulate. Before Marta came to Chicago in 1972, she was a professor in her native Argentina. And while it may not be in her official job description anymore, no one who works with her can fail to say that they have learned from her. One of her most admirable qualities is her commitment not just to her profession, but to the community at large. She has worked with multiple social service organizations, as well as the Cook County Circuit Court, to ensure that the needs of families in crisis are met. Finally, Marta continues to mentor young lawyers and law students year-round, and it is no exaggeration to say that there are dozens of young lawyers throughout Chicago and beyond who have been taught, mentored, and nurtured by Marta C. Bucata. For that reason, and for all that she has meant to the Greater Chicago Legal Clinic, the legal profession in Chicagoland, and the community at large, it is my privilege to present Marta C. Bucata with the 2020 Ambassador for Justice Award.
Thank you, Adam. I am truly honored to be the recipient of the clinic's 2020 Ambassador to Justice Award. I am very pleased, but somewhat surprised that I'm deemed worthy of it, because I feel that I have only been doing my job, which for over 34 years has been nothing but a joy and extremely exciting and rewarding. I derive great satisfaction from every aspect of my job at the clinic. As a court-appointed attorney representing children caught in the middle of a contested custody dispute, as an attorney representing victims of domestic violence and litigants in a contested family matter, all of which affords me the opportunity to help families in crisis and bring some kind of legal stability to their lives. Furthermore, as a senior staff attorney and perhaps reminiscent of my years as a professor in my home country of Argentina, I enjoy mentoring, teaching, and training students and interns who want to pursue law. What attracted me to join the clinic back in 1986 was the fact that it was a non-for-profit organization. Its main mission was not necessarily to make money, but to provide legal services to those who couldn't afford it. I was able to devote all my professional energy and 100% of my time to providing legal services without having to worry about fees. The fact that the clinic is a non-for-profit organization is what continues to keep me working full-time now in 2020 at retirement age. I would like to thank my colleagues, the board of directors, and the donors for their financial contributions. Also, I want to thank my family and friends, especially my husband Pedro for his patience and understanding. How many nights and weekends I spend on the computer working on a pleading or a report that is due the following day. But also for his unflagging emotional and financial support throughout these 34 years that I have been with the clinic. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Liz Patatek, the Director of Operations at Greater Chicago Legal Clinic and the Supervisor of our Family Law and Domestic Violence Practices.
And I'm Zulmira Perez, a staff attorney in the Family Law and Immigration Practice.
Today, we're here to have a conversation about the clinic and the work it does to keep families safe. GCLC has always provided low-cost legal services in family law and domestic violence. The idea is to bridge the gap between people who can't get help with free legal services and people who can't afford private attorney. Over the past year, we've been trying to look at ways that we can expand our services outside Chicago to bridge another gap, people throughout Cook County who need our services. So Myra and I get together weekly to review the cases that come in from people who need our help.
So some of these cases involve domestic violence survivors in various stages of seeking help. Some are still living with their abuser or have only recently left and are still trying to meet their basic needs of food, shelter, and money, while others have already been separated from their abuser for some time but are still dealing with the repercussions of months or years of living in a violent home. And then there are others who are simply men and women looking for a divorce but who can't hire private attorneys and who don't otherwise qualify for free services.
A lot has changed about the way that we provide our services since the pandemic started in Chicago in March. What this has meant for us initially is that we had to keep our lines of communication open, particularly for domestic violence survivors. Our attorneys remained available from their homes to safety plan with survivors who are calling in for help. We've also worked on larger access to justice issues by working collaboratively with other agencies and other stakeholders. So Myra, can you tell us a little bit more about the individual experience for the people who we're supporting?
Sure. So domestic violence survivors often face many hurdles in seeking help. Here at GCLC, we really try to provide a holistic approach to providing legal services to these clients. What that means for me is being able to guide somebody through getting an order of protection, filing for divorce, and eventually seeking immigration relief if that applies to them. And for the client, it's easier to be able to deal with only one practitioner, to be able to foster that client-attorney relationship and not having to be re-traumatized by retelling their story over and over again.
As a former practitioner, I know how important it is to have someone like you on our team, Zulmira, to provide these sorts of trauma-informed services and to make sure people don't have to tell their stories so many times. There are lots of ways that you at home can support the work of the clinic as well. You can find more information on our website, gclclaw.org. You can follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. And thank you so much for taking the time to be with us tonight.
For decades, the clinic has helped Cook County families find stability through periods of change and uncertainty. We remain committed to this work through these months of broader social upheaval. Clinic attorneys have kept their lines open throughout the pandemic to answer the calls of families in crisis. They have provided safety planning to victims of domestic violence in the most difficult of circumstances. To learn more about the important and life-saving work that the clinic is doing, please visit www.gclclaw.org. And please make a gift tonight in support of this important work and join us in sharing the message that safety starts in the home.
The Charles J. O'Loughlin Award honors a law firm or corporate legal department that engages in extensive community involvement or volunteerism. The award is named for the late Charles J. O'Loughlin, who served as president of the clinic's board of directors and was a distinguished partner at Jenner & Block. We are privileged to continue to honor his memory with this award, which this year goes to Abbott Laboratories. A global medical device and healthcare company, Abbott also places a premium on giving back to those less fortunate, leveraging the extraordinary skill set of its employees to address social challenges from disaster relief to hunger. Here to tell you about the various ways in which Abbott impacts communities for the better is Ann Chen, Senior Counsel at Abbott Laboratories and a member of the GCLC Board of Directors.
Hi, I'm Ann Chen. I'm a board member of the Greater Chicago Legal Clinic and also an attorney at Abbott. I'm proud to be part of a company that creates life-changing technologies that help people live better and healthier. In addition to providing medical devices, nutritional products, and branded generic medicines, we in Abbott's legal department have been working hard this year, along with the rest of the company, in the fight against COVID-19. We've launched 6 tests in the U.S. to date, and we've provided tens of millions of tests so far. Our contributions include both rapid tests and lab-based tests so people can get the answers they need. At a community level, the commitment of Abbott Legal Department extends to our pro bono program, in which we partner with community organizations to provide legal assistance and other support. We are also committed to community service. Every member of our legal department around the world is expected to complete a certain number of hours of community service every year. And often we invite our outside counsel law firms to volunteer alongside us. I'm honored that GCLC has recognized the commitment of Abbott's legal department to the community. My colleague, Laura Ward, will be accepting the award on Abbott's behalf.
Thank you, Greater Chicago Legal Clinic. Abbott's Legal Division is honored to receive the Charles O'Loughlin Award. Abbott's Legal Division has a long-standing commitment to community service. For decades, Abbott has had a volunteer program designed to engage all legal division employees in team-based community projects. The program is called Serving Our Communities Together, and all members of the legal division participate in the program. We are active in 17 countries. A few examples include assisting at food banks, children's hospitals, and VA centers. Under the guidance of our General Counsel, Hubert Allen, Abbott's Legal Division also developed a pro bono program designed to provide legal assistance to disadvantaged and underserved communities and constituencies. Essential to the success of Abbott's pro bono program has been the development of strong partnerships with local legal service organizations and significant collaboration and support from many of our law firm partners. The scope of Abbott's pro bono work is wide-ranging. A few examples include assisting victims of domestic violence obtain emergency orders of protection, staffing power of attorney clinics for low-income seniors, counseling clients seeking to expunge their records to lift barriers to housing, employment, or education, and conducting legal research to aid in the creation of an interactive online resource for LGBTQ+ youth. Through these programs, Abbott's Legal Division volunteers have been able to help many people in need, and our volunteers have a great sense of satisfaction in their community service and pro bono work. Last year, Abbott Legal collectively contributed almost 4,000 community service and pro bono hours to more than 50 service organizations globally. And we've continued our dedication to service this year, developing creative ways to volunteer remotely. Abbott Legal is proud of its employees who choose to spend their time and use their skills to help people in need and to strengthen the communities where we work and live.
Hi, I'm Ina Winston, the supervising immigration attorney at the clinic. Welcome to my office, such as it is, in my backyard in Skokie. This is where I've been meeting clients since early spring. When we prepare clients for interviews at USCIS, we do go downtown and we do mock interviews in which I pretend to be the mean interviewer. Our immigration section consists of 3 highly capable, compassionate, kind, but also objective and effective attorneys. My colleagues are Joel Stopka and Zulmira Paredes. We focus on family-based immigration. We do petitions, we do adjustments for people who are here in the United States seeking permanent residencies, we do consular processing, we do removal of conditions on marriage-based green cards, we do deportation defense, we also do VAWAs and U visas. In addition, we do naturalizations. As you're probably aware, this administration has made a frontal assault on family-based immigration. So our work is much more complex, much more time-consuming than it was in the past. We now have to do detailed financial documents, and the worst of it is there are no real objective standards for determining which positive factors outweigh which negative factors. It's a very difficult situation that we're operating in, but nonetheless, we've had some notable successes. Recently, we won a deportation defense case in which the judge agreed that our client's marriage was bona fide, not a sham marriage, and that it would have been an extreme hardship if he were deported because he takes care of his 80-year-old U.S. citizen mother with love and devotion. We've also won a number of VAWA cases, which I personally find are the most gratifying cases because when a woman, it's not always a woman, but usually a woman, gets her permanent residency, it's the start of a whole new life for her and for her family, and it's thrilling when the person comes back to be naturalized. Our clients believe in the American dream. They work very hard. In the immigration context, we represent both the petitioner and the beneficiary. Our clients are maintenance workers, factory workers, restaurant workers. They don't have glamorous jobs. I have some clients who are working 3 jobs as CNAs to pay the immigration fees and our modest attorney fees. I hope that you still believe in the American dream and that you will contribute and make it possible for us to do everything in our ability in this difficult situation to bring that dream to reality for our really deserving clients. Thank you.
Clinic attorneys are providing these important immigration services to our neighbors throughout Greater Chicago to help them realize the dream of family unification. Please make a gift to support work that results in stronger families and stronger communities.
Our final award is the Pro Bono Service Award. This award recognizes extraordinary pro bono partners. People have given their time and talent to help the clinic realize its mission and vision. This year's honoree is truly amazing. He's a marketing consultant whose 3 decades of professional experience include publishing, PR, senior level marketing, and business development roles at several Chicago-based law firms. Our honoree guided us through an almost year-long branding and messaging effort that grew out of the strategic planning process that we completed last year. He helped us define our mission, vision, and values and understand how best to share the clinic's story and explain the work we do. He assembled and led a team of professionals who donated their time and talents to develop our new logo, build a website that allows us to reach clients and friends more effectively, and handle media relations. Now, as a not-for-profit legal aid organization, we are so grateful to have access to such world-class marketing and PR talent. I'm very pleased to introduce our Pro Bono Service Award winner, Michael James.
Thank you so much, Sharon. I'm honored that the clinic trusted me to guide you on this exciting journey. Starting back with that first 4-hour branding and messaging session in December of last year, all the way through the launch of your website in August, my work with the clinic has been extremely rewarding, and your kind recognition really means a lot to me. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge the other creative professionals in my network who generally donated their time to help bring all of this to fruition. First, there's the amazing Cassandra Weilander, a former colleague of mine who's currently on the marketing team at Perkins Coie. She was my right-hand gal on the messaging piece and contributed at a very high level despite her demanding full-time job. Then there's Krista Hill of Krista Hill Creative. She's responsible for the clinic's vibrant new logo and brand identity, as well as the design inspiration for the website. And Sharon, I think she really knocked it out of the park. Another talented graphic designer, Kristen Onesti of KO Design Group, tackled the very hard work of building out your online presence and bringing Krista's vision to life in what I think is a truly eye-catching website. I'd also like to thank Doug Birkenauer of Birkenauer Photography for the beautiful portraits he created of GCLC's staff. I should mention that Doug did it all despite the logistical challenges of social distancing in the middle of a global pandemic. And last but not least, there's Amy Christie and Bailey Renfro from Finn Partners, two consummate PR professionals who drafted a press release and handled media relations in connection with the website launch and other GCLC initiatives.
Well, I think I speak for everyone on the board and the staff when I say thank you for everything you've done for the clinic this past year. We couldn't have done it without you. And I love our new logo and website. Can I ask you, what drew you to donate so much of your time to help the clinic?
Well, first of all, I love the website too. But to answer your question, when I was first introduced to you in the clinic to help define your story and develop new messaging, I really just thought of it as an interesting project, an opportunity to give back. But it quickly became so much more. Although I know the legal industry well and spent a big portion of my career as a marketing professional inside corporate law firms, this was the first time I'd had the opportunity to dig in and really learn about legal aid services. And Sharon, I honestly didn't realize how great the need is in our communities. Getting to know the clinic, seeing firsthand the staff's commitment to providing access to justice, how they're able to do so much for our neighbors in need despite limited resources, it was inspiring. And this experience has truly been a labor of love. And now I feel like I'm in it for the long haul.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Michael. And I will echo your words and say I serve on the clinic's board because I believe in the value of the clinic's work. We live in a complicated world, and sometimes people need legal help to negotiate it. Everyone should have access to first-rate legal representation, regardless of income. So again, thank you for all of your work and for everything you've done for us.
Well, I couldn't agree more, Sharon, and you're very, very welcome. I'm reminded of something that came out of our marathon meeting back in December. It's 3 powerful words that I really have to give you credit for inspiring. Community justice advocates. I think that phrase really encapsulates what the clinic staff and board are all about. You're a group of fierce advocates who are tirelessly committed to closing the justice gaps in underserved communities across Greater Chicago. And in my own very small way, I like to think I'm a community justice advocate too. So thank you once again for this recognition. I look forward to a continued relationship with an organization and a group of outstanding people who have become near and dear to my heart.
Congratulations again to all of our honorees tonight. On behalf of the Greater Chicago Legal Clinic and the Board of Directors, we are so grateful for your commitment and dedication to the organization. Given the economic realities of the ongoing public health emergency, there is a significant and growing need for legal aid services in Greater Chicago. If you haven't yet done so, I hope that you will make a gift to the clinic. Approximately 90% of the clinic's operating budget goes directly to legal aid services. Your gifts support the clinic's vision to build a society where there are no service gaps in the justice system, so that all Chicago area communities have equal access to quality legal representation, regardless of income or background. I thank everyone who has given tonight, and thank you for joining us. Have a good night.